right, we're back. So this is my favorite section where we get to kind of hear from a bunch of local startups about what's new and cool going on in their industry. So we're gonna start bringing everybody up. We're gonna sit down and we'll go through all the presentations. I wanna introduce Simon Schwartz, the CEO of Locasaur, Sam Wilcoxon, CEO of Lorem, Ahmed Bouzid, CEO from Witlingo, Trevor Sumner, CEO from Perch, and Stephen Kalifowitz, president from Localize.city. See? Told you guys got this. There you go.
That was great. All right, hi everybody. Thanks so much for coming and thank you for having us here. So, like you said, I'm Steve from Localize.city. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company. So, it's not uncommon today for you guys, for all of us, to go online and find out what it is that we're buying before we actually choose to buy something, right? It's from the toothpaste to a smartphone, you can go and find out what it is and make an informed decision about what it is you're going to buy. But when it comes to buying or renting a home, there's no resource like that. Every home is unique, and there's no one who can tell, or no one and no place where you can go to find out what's it going to be like to live there the next day, the next year. And it's crazy. This is the biggest, most impactful transaction you make. It's your largest check you cut every month, whether or not you rent or own. And it's a problem. It's a problem for a lot of people. We found this, we did a lot of research early on, and I mean, we all know, but we were able to find lots of deep research of people actively complaining about these kinds of things. They're moving into these places, and they should know this kind of stuff. They should know it before they move in. They should know that the subway's going to close soon, so your commute to the office, which was supposed to be better, is now worse. We see this as the biggest unresolved consumer problem today, right? Your biggest transaction, the most significant impact on your life from one transaction, and you're walking in blind. And so we believe we've created a solution for this, and it's called Localize. We like to say we uncover the truth for every address. So today, if you want, you can take out your phone, go to Localize.city, and type in any address in New York City in the 5 boroughs, and we're going to give you a set of 20 to 30 insights for that address. I'll give you an example. Let's take a look at this address, 142-10 Roosevelt Avenue in Queens. Okay, so one of the insights we tell you is something you've seen in movies where people are sitting in an apartment and all of a sudden the whole thing shakes. And they're like, oh yeah, no one told me about that before I chose to move here. Well, now people will know if that's going to happen. And they can choose if they want to live in a place like that. Or they could learn that something really cool is coming around the corner, like a new YMCA, right? And someone who's maybe thinking of leaving because there are not enough amenities, they say, you know what, I have a good deal on rent, I'm going to stay a little bit longer because this is coming into the neighborhood. Or things like schools. We've done our own proprietary review of every school in the city. And unlike most places, which primarily give you lagging indicators, how did students last year perform, most of our insights are focused on leading indicators, on how will school be next year, because someone who's thinking of moving is thinking necessarily about the future. They don't care too much about the past. Safety, we've mapped out safety throughout the whole city. As anybody from New York or from any large city knows that safety in a neighborhood isn't consistent, right? We're in Williamsburg right now, and safety in Williamsburg isn't constant throughout the neighborhood. And 2 blocks this way and 2 blocks that way could be very different. And so our site focuses on the address, and we give you safety and all of these insights based on that address and what's relevant immediately around there. Or this example, even something really cool that we're developing to go even deeper, is what's the sunlight like around this house throughout the year? For all of these, if you swipe up, you can get more detail. So for each one, there's a nice headline, obviously a beautiful map, and if you notice, there's an Update Me button on every one of them, so you can get updates if anything changes as we learn new things about this address. Because for someone who's moving, once they choose a place to live, as things change around them, they're going to want to know about it, and we can be that source of news, that hyperlocal news. Every time something's happening right around your address, we'll be able to let you know. A lot of people ask, well, how do you do this? It sounds crazy. First of all, we're leveraging literally billions of data points through 3 main sources: open data, which is city, state, and federal, in addition to commercially available data that we can buy from lots of sources. There are several vendors we met with here. And then social data. There's a lot of content that people are putting out in real time where they're actively complaining or being excited about things that are happening. We're able to scrape all of that and pull that into our system. It's interesting to note that some people say, oh, that's easy, it's open data. It's not easy at all. This content is completely unrelated. Just within the city itself, different agencies monitor things completely differently. The information is raw, and it's really complicated. And so we've brought together a really amazing team who built an insight engine. We've built proprietary AI, which leverages machine learning technology, and it does real-time analysis. We're running thousands of models every time. So every time you search an address, we're doing a real-time call on information to give you the most accurate and current information about that location. And it's really with the goal of telling a unique story for every home. In terms of users, we've just launched 2 months ago. We've had an amazing reaction to the product. About 85% of people who search an address will swipe every insight. And again, we're talking 20 to 30 insights. Those types of numbers are crazy. I mean, internet standards, people look at 1, maybe 2 or 3 pages, and then they fall off a cliff. We're keeping people on for 20 to 30 pages, which is pretty wild. We've had over 1 million insights read in our first month, in the month of April. And really, we've gotten a lot of qualitative feedback like this, where this was like in our initial pitch decks of what we're going for, is to be the insider, is to tell people the secrets of what it's like everywhere. And to see users tell us that is amazing. And we've also taken this one last level, which is we have lots of information about every address, but we also know about the city at large. And so we've been doing a lot of macro level studies about the city, and we've been working with various press publications to push out these stories. And so about a month ago, we uncovered some information about the correlation between dangerous intersections and schools. We tried to identify which schools are more dangerous for kids when they're walking there than others. And we found 43 schools where you're 4 times more likely to be hit by a car while walking to that school. The New York Post picked it up. The next day, it was tweeted by Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough President, and Brooklyn had a lot of these schools. And then another story was published after the parents flipped out at all of these schools. And the best part was the DOT responded and said that they're going to look into it. And so our goal is hopefully let individuals make better decisions, but also let the city leverage all of this information to make better decisions as well. My time is up, so I'm going to jump past these. I'm looking at the 0. Off to the next one. Thank you.
There's the time. Hey, my name is Trevor Sumner, and I'm a recovering hyper-local marketing entrepreneur. I started a company called Localize, which got purchased by the Blackstone Group, merged with the Berry Company, and is now Vivial. And in that, kind of experience, I really understood the value and the impact that digital can have on impacting real-world decision making and transactions. And so when I looked for a new gig, I was really interested in augmented reality and computer vision and marketing and retail, and I found this company called Perch doing something tremendously interesting I'm pretty excited to share with you today. And Perch is kind of a recognition that our retail world has changed to be both physical and digital. We know that digital impacts physical real-world behavior. We know that people are addicted to their phones, check it 170 times a day, spend 5 hours a day on their phones. They want videos, they want ratings, they want reviews, they want all these type of things. And that's why they go to Amazon, that's why they buy online. And when you go into the store, there's also great things, but there's no digital, really. But you can touch a product, feel a product, and there's a great amount of information there, sales associates who can help you. But I can click on a product online. Why can't I do that in store, right? Imagine Amazon.com without any product pages, right? No products that you can click on and get more information. What would that look like, right? It would just be a mess. And that's kind of what retail looks like now, right? You see products on the shelves everywhere, and information overload. And so Perch was founded on the notion that we can revolutionize the way products are sold in stores and the shopping experience by using computer vision technology to detect which products you're picking up, touching, and putting down, and unlocking digital content as you go. It's a combination of hardware, software, although we don't produce any hardware, it's mostly software and cloud-based services. And we use that to engage consumers in new and interesting ways. We've been voted kind of one of the top 15 companies to watch by Forbes and top 20 retail solution providers by CIO Review. But fundamentally, what we do is we unite digital content with every physical product on the shelf. And so for the first time, you can message every product in a retail environment. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, because I believe this is the future of retail. And so the future of retail to me is joyful experiences that when you go and pick up a fragrance at a store, it animates into what that fragrance smells like, whether it's wildflowers or the next one you'll see is blackberry. Do you really think that somebody picks up a fragrance and smells blackberry or pomegranate? But now they're kind of, wow, there's this surprise, there's this delight, they feel the organic nature of the products, and the result is they buy 25% more fragrance with a 1,600% ROI. And we won a Clio Award. It's an absolutely beautiful experience. To me, the future of retail is Johnson & Johnson, right? When I go and pick up a Band-Aid, it should tell me about Neosporin, it should tell me about the pain relief cream that I have no idea what it is and why I should use it. If I pick up the Zyrtec, it should tell me when I should use Benadryl. I should be able to pull up ratings and reviews. I should look at ingredients because they're more important than ever. So with this, we showed over 60% sales lift across 30 different products across 16 product families. So that's a CPG type example. Where am I supposed to point this? That way? There we go. So the future of retail is personalizing your products. If you've been to Kate Spade, they have handbags that you can basically change the flaps, the straps. They're actually interchangeable, so you can buy multiple flaps and straps and have 5, 6 purses in one. And so you can walk through it. I was just actually at Kate Spade, and they find this as a great tool, especially for international customers who don't necessarily speak English, to walk them through all the different products. The result of this is double-digit sales lift and double-digit improvements in accessories per bag. The future to me is virtual makeup try-on. Every woman will nod their head when I say trying on lipstick is terrible as an experience, right? You put 3 or 4 lipsticks on, and do you really want to put that sample on? And then it starts blurring, and maybe you do the little thing on your arm. Now, when you pick up a lipstick, it automatically puts it on your face. You want to complete the look? We can add some eye makeup to it. So now you can actually do a virtual style on and try on more makeup, and the result of this is double-digit sales lift. So you see a tremendous number of different experiences really focused on driving consumer engagement, 30 to 80% sales lift, and a tremendous amount of ROIs. And we've done that across categories for some of the biggest clients in the industry. 30 to 80% sales lift. We sold 80% more laptops for Lenovo. So some boring categories like flea and tick collars for Bear, right? 16% sales lift. They said we have nothing like this in our arsenal. And we do this with an actual scalable platform for delivery, cloud-based services, different sensing technologies like computer vision, RFID, infrared frames and optical frames, and we do that at platform level scale. We're deployed in 20 countries. We have multi-million-dollar revenues. We're actually cash flow positive. And we've won a lot of different design awards. And so to me, this is like the next step of hyperlocal, right? Where you're correcting information for the digital in the store online. What about all of the products on the shelf? If the trees are the store level data, to me the leaves of that ecosystem are every single product on the shelf. And so we're Perch, and we're here to make the retail experience enjoyable, engaging, educational, and fun again. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Ahmed Bouzid, and I am the founder of a company called Witlingo. We are based in Washington, D.C., and we are in the business of building voice experiences. So I'm going to ask a question. How many people here have heard of Alexa? Amazon Alexa? Raise your hands. Google Assistant? How many own an Echo or Google Home? Okay. I can tell you about a year ago, I would say 20% of the people raised their hands, and 2 years ago, maybe one person, which usually was my assistant. There is my hand, right? The point being is that the adoption of voice in these devices, Google Home and Amazon Echo, has been phenomenal. Has exceeded the adoption of the smartphone in 2007. For example, when the iPhone came out in 2007, the adoption took about 6-7 years to penetrate 40% of the population. It is taking something like 3 years for these devices to become part of the mainstream. These are adoption rates. If anyone wants the slides, just let me know. this is a fascinating slide. It shows you how long it took for a particular technology to penetrate or to reach a certain critical mass in the mainstream. Okay, which means that just like the smartphone 7 years ago, we thought it was a toy, it was something that we were going to use to communicate with each other. It has turned into a life-changing, for the good and for the better, for the good and for the bad, a life-changing channel and technology. Same thing with social media. I remember when Facebook came out, it was all about me talking to my family and my friends. It has turned into something that has changed our lives in many ways. Again, positive and negative. Okay, so what do we do as a business? What we do is, in essence, we build what we call voice-first portals. And let me ask here, who does not have a website as a business? Who does not have a Facebook as a business, this Facebook page? Who doesn't have a Twitter or a YouTube channel? These have become table stakes, and our bet is that presence in voice is going to be a must-have, meaning, given the chart that I showed you at the beginning, where 40% of the population will have an Echo or a Google Home in their home in the next couple of years, people will expect to be able to interact with your brand by just talking. Alexa, tell me what is the special for the French restaurant down the street, right? And you expect it to give you that information. The infrastructure is there, meaning everybody has a smartphone, everybody is going to have a Google Home or an Amazon Echo, and therefore the expectations to be able to attain the information that you need and to execute the transactions that you want to engage in are going to be part of what we do, part of the reflexes in our habits. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going back. Okay. This is our company. Again, our bet is that it will become something of a habit for us to just ask. And if you think about the progression of technology, the progression has always been how to make technology easier and easier for people to engage with, right? The computer in the 70s was this thing that is used by engineers only. And there's Steve Jobs and his generation came in and brought in the PC, which brought it to the mainstream. And then we went into graphical user interfaces, making it even easier. And then we went into the browser, where we're able to access information again by clicking and so forth. The smartphone is another iteration where it makes it easier for you to do things. You don't have to go to your browser. You just have a smartphone. You click and you do that. This is a natural progression of that, making things easier for people to do, right? Your eyes are busy, your hands are busy, and you're preparing food or you're folding laundry, and you want to find out what the weather will be tomorrow. So instead of stopping and going to your smartphone, you just say, Alexa, what's the weather tomorrow in San Francisco if you're going there, right? And you get the information. These are some of our clients. Okay, so the concept, so what we sell and why we're here is to introduce you guys to the concept of a voice-first portal. Just like you have a website, you should have a voice portal, meaning a presence in this ecosystem where you'll be able to enable your customers to ask questions about your business. Like what are your hours, what's your special, can you send me a coupon, right? By just engaging in that very seamless and easy way. And so the proposition is, if you're a business and you don't want to be left behind or you don't want to be catching up in 2 years, you should talk to us and we'll build you a voice-first portal. Let's see what else here. So the kind of things that you do is, you know that, for example, you have a customer care, you have a product, and people ask you questions about your product, right? And you know what the questions are, the 20 questions, right? And instead of people calling you, you could have an Alexa skill where people ask it a question and gives them an answer, and they're done, they're happy. If they want to talk to you some more, then they will ask you meaningful questions. You'll have a meaningful conversation as opposed to asking you a simple question that the robot could have answered. I'm going to stop here because I think I've said most of what I wanted to say, and I'm going to pass it on to you. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Sam Wilcoxon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a startup called Lorem, and we're building the freelance marketplace for the SMB operating system. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what that means and why it's important. So to start, let's look at 3 of the macro trends we see playing out in the space right now. First is the exponential rise in DIY software. The modern business owner has hundreds of tools to choose from when they're building their website, sending email newsletters, collecting payments, and everything in between. And that's fantastic. That puts a ton of power in their hands, but at the same time, every single one of these tools requires setup, requires customization, ongoing maintenance, and they all need to play well together. And if you're non-technical, or if you're as busy as SMBs are, that's not easy. Second, it's estimated that 35% of the US workforce is currently freelancing, and that in the next 10 years, that number will rise to over 50%. That is a ton of skilled professionals who don't have a salary, don't have benefits, and every single day is a constant hustle to find their next gig and get paid. And finally, Uber and Uber for X type businesses have fundamentally changed the way customers expect products and services to work. They value convenience and getting their problem solved right now above everything else. And if you look at the existing freelance marketplaces, you can see that they're not delivering on that experience. You go on, you post a job, you have 80 freelancers yelling prices at you, and it puts the burden on the customer to figure out, who am I gonna work with, how am I gonna get this done, and how do I not get scammed? And it's not a great experience for the freelancers either, because you're one of 80 people vying for this one single job, and it just turns into a global price race to the bottom where nobody's happy. And so, about a year and a half ago, my co-founder Charlie and I approached this market and wanted to try something really different. And so we decided to build Lorem. And so what Lorem does is Lorem brings the freelance marketplace inside of the tools people are already using. So when you have Lorem and you're working on Squarespace or WordPress or something like that, you'll actually see the Lorem button in the interface with you. And so whenever you want help or get a project done, you simply click the button, you can type in whatever you need, and in under a minute, you'll get paired with an expert who can help solve your problem. And to make this possible, we've actually built a network of hundreds of freelancers. We've interviewed and vetted every single one of them. We've categorized their skills, and so they essentially have a dashboard that they keep open, and whenever a job comes along that matches their skill set, they'll get pinged and they can grab the job right then and there. And so that means we've changed the experience for customers from, I'm stuck and I'm frustrated, to, oh my God, there's this amazing expert who's helping me. And we've changed the experience for freelancers, which is, okay, here's a great place where I can find work and get paid. And so to date, the majority of our usage has come from direct customer acquisition on our behalf. But in the next couple months, we'll be launching our partner program. And that essentially enables other products and services to embed Lorem in their offering to connect their users with our experts. And so to give you a bit of a taste of what that looks like, I'm going to tell you about 2 of the partners we'll be launching with. So the first is a WordPress plugin called W3 Total Cache. It's one of the most popular WordPress plugins on about 10 million websites worldwide. And essentially, they've decided to embed Lorem into their plugin's interface so that whenever their users get stuck trying to configure the plugin, set up a CDN or HTTPS or whatever, they can connect with our experts and get it solved for them. And so that means happier customers, as well as adding a monetization layer to their otherwise freemium product. And the second is GT Metrics. They have a popular website analysis tool, and they've written a ton of great content about optimizing your website. And so they've actually decided to embed Lorem at the bottom of their blog posts so that readers can either decide to do it themselves, or they get down to the bottom and it says, work with a professional right now and get it done for you. And so again, happier users and adding a monetization layer to their otherwise free content. So in summary, Lorem is a freelance marketplace designed for the SMB operating system in the future of work. We'll be launching our partner program in the next couple months and would love to talk to anybody here who might be interested and could be a good fit. Thank you so much.
All right. No? Yeah. Oh, wait, there it goes. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Simon Schwartz, and I started Locasaur as a mobile platform for easy local discovery. So it's tough being a local business owner in 2018. That's kind of why we're all here. And I say that coming from a family of local business owners. Dad owns the local bakery on Main Street back home, and so I have many happy memories from that side of the counter doing the whole sort of local fight. So if I'm a local business owner, I have little time, right, and even less money to spend on all the sort of auxiliary tools that I need to do my business. Mobile is a big part of that. Everyone in the world is on mobile. Half the people in this audience are on their mobile phones right now. So you as a business owner need to go where they go. And if I'm a local business, local publication, or neighborhood group, I have a few options. I can build my own app, but that's costly, and it's costly to maintain. Plus, I'm the sole person or entity responsible for building out that platform. And that's the same problem as social as well. You have all these algorithms, not only for your followers, but for your total audience, that as a business owner, that's a whole nother salary that I need to pay just to figure out that stuff. So Locasaur wants to do something a little different. The distinction that we make is building around location-based advertising as opposed to follower-based advertising. So this is our app. For users, it's just very simple location-based discovery. For business owners, our local tiles become a sort of mobile app that they can use for their own purposes in their own local area. So how it works is that we've divided Manhattan and parts of Brooklyn now into these neighborhood profiles. For each one of these neighborhood profiles, we list the local businesses in that area underneath. That way they're easily discoverable by users in the area or searching in the area. We also have attached to each neighborhood profile these local tiles. And these tiles are what various sorts of local entities, publications, and neighborhood groups can use as their own mobile app. So whatever sort of content you have, be it event listings, various sorts of publications, articles, you name it, you can use these local channels as your own way of getting content to your local area. You control the aesthetic, you control the duration and the location that it shows up in, but you're not solely responsible for building out the audience or maintaining your own mobile app. So if you're not an SMB yourself, there are opportunities here as well. Locasaur can be a great way of integrating mobile into what you already offer local business solutions. And for local publications, it's a way where you can sell landmark and location-specific advertising. So think selling an ad to a local business in Midtown that's associated with a search for the Empire State Building. And all of the advantages here revolve around this idea of it being a location-based audience as opposed to a follower-based audience. We think that locals, both businesses and publications, have great content, right? And that content shouldn't be hidden behind crappy sort of mobile unresponsive front ends or followers or accounts with low follower bases. So on Locasaur, you know exactly who your audience is at any time. It's the locals in the community plus anyone who is searching in that community, right? You're not solely responsible for building out that audience, and a sort of rising tide of activity in a local area floats all boats. So currently, we're all over Manhattan, from Inwood down to Fidei, as well as the sort of northern rim of Brooklyn. And within these areas, we work with neighborhood groups in a variety of ways, all in order to test out our local solutions in an effort to make sure that what we build for them and what we build for the businesses in their network really is what they actually want, right? And something that they don't feel like they're wasting time on. And that's very important to us. We feel like we ourselves aren't competing with these local publications or neighborhood groups so much as we're the tool that they can use to compete in this local space. So if this is interesting to you, or you think that you can say local in 5 minutes, more times than I can, hit me up. This is my email address, or I will be here for the rest of the day. So thank you.
I'll throw it out real quick to see if there's any questions from the audience. No? All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Very cool.